So, I've made a mistake. Yes, even the chief makes mistakes once in a while. And it's a mistake that I need to correct before our next boondocking or dry camping adventure, whenever that's going to be. We don't have anything on the books, but we're just going to get away one of these weeks. So here's the problem that I need to correct. So when I installed my solar system a couple of years ago, I put 4 100-watt panels up here, so 400 watts of solar connected to a 40-amp solar controller down in the basement storage, which then connects to the battery, obviously, to charge. So when I did my research, research told me that 10 gauge wire, power wire coming from the panels to the controller would be sufficient. And I'm finding out that it's not. I'll tell you later when we get downstairs to get off the camper, and I'll show you how I know that it's not. So my task today, and however long it takes, is to replace the 10 gauge wire with a 6 gauge wire, which I'm now learning should be more sufficient. So I think I've ordered everything I need. I've got 50-foot or 2 rolls of 50-foot 6 gauge wire. I've got the couplers and the butt connectors and the things that I need. A new gland pass through, and so I better get to work. So I've done everything I can up top, but I had to leave it and order a couple of parts that I can't find locally. I just need some well nuts, the rubber inserts that secure the solar panel to the roof, and then it's a wire loom to cover the wires up there. I can't find the right size around here. So those are on order, but I did get the wires run. Here's the spools that you saw up top, and you saw me maybe fish them up from the top, or from the bottom to the top. And one good thing about this install that I did is to be able to hide the wires inside the wall next to the vent to the gray tank, which runs all the way up to the roof. So down here, let me see if I can get you in there. You might see that opening in the wall there by the vent tube, the one at an angle. That goes right up through the bathroom wall. And with the tube going through there, I knew there wouldn't be any cross members to block the wires coming down or up. And also, it's an interior wall, so no insulation. So that was a perfect place to hide the wires, bring them down through the wall, down into the basement area. So let me tell you now why I need to replace these wires, or how I know that I need to replace these wires with a larger gauge wire. Like I said, the initial research on the initial install of my DIY project was the chart said 10 gauge should be just fine. And over time, I'm finding out that that's not sufficient. So the reason I know that is because this last trip to Marana, we're sitting there, and I know that I checked my Bluetooth transponder to check how the solar was going, and it was off again. So I reset it, the panel breaker, and it worked again, but then it shut off again later. So this time I reached up and touched the wires just above the panel breaker, and they were hot to the touch. I had to pull my hand away. They were that hot. So I'm like, yep, I know what my problem is. I'm overloading those cables, too much amperage. So that's why I need to change them. I need to get started down here while I wait for parts to finish up the upstairs. So I think I've finished with this project. If you made it this far in the video, you probably noticed I had to do it in stages over a few different days. If you notice the wardrobe changes at all. Mostly I was waiting on parts, and the main part I was waiting for was these little guys right here. It's called a well nut. It's made of rubber with a metal insert in there, and if you've ever installed solar panels on a normal RV roof, you should know that these are the right piece of equipment to secure them to a wood paneled roof with a membrane on top, because you drive the screw in and it snugs up the metal piece in, and the rubber fills and secures inside the hole. So that's what I was waiting for. It took a long time for them to get here, but I finally got them, and I've got my 10 gauge wire replaced with the 6 gauge wire, so I hopefully don't have any overheating the wire problems anymore. But we'll see. So let me give you just a rundown, a recap of what I did do. I'll flow you through the whole system, top to bottom, and we'll wrap it up. So what I had to do was, starting here at the top, remove the second from the left panel, because that's where all 4 of these panels come together in parallel to one spot, to then join up, connect through a main cable that goes in and through between the wall right next to the vent. You see the vent cap right here. There's a space between the wall at the back of the bathroom that I was able to feed the wire down through. So I've now got it remounted and sealed up sufficiently. And then so from the roof down through the wall to the basement storage area, I've had you down here before. It comes down between the wall by the vent pipe, and it comes out here into the first switch box, and then they go out and up and around. They follow the frame here, and they tap into the controller, and then from the controller the wires go out. They come back here to the other switch, and then they come in, and then they come out, and they go along the same line of wires, but then up to the front by the landing gear and in through the hole that goes into the battery access. So you might have seen before, the wires I had before, I had wire loom covering them to protect them, and it's just a neater look. This time I decided to just cable tie them neatly and not use the wire loom, because they're tucked out of the way enough that they're not going to get nicked or scuffed or broken. So that was this project, to improve my solar cables so that they were more compatible with the amount of watts and amps that I was pumping through it to try to charge the battery. So if it was helpful, that's great. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, that's great too. Hopefully it was helpful. I gave you some things to think about if you're looking to do your own DIY solar install. So take care and happy camping.